now I'm on another one. I apologize. But it's like I was saying previously, it's hard for me to have these conversations with people when their love has waxed cold. And 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 when I look at my word, when I look at the Bible, I don't have to blame man. I don't have to blame woman. I can look and see for myself that God and what he said is true. He said in Matthew 24, let me pull it up if I can. My phone is getting hot. No, they can't open up no apps. Sorry, guys. So basically, what I read in Matthew 24, it said that because of iniquity that will abound, the love of many will wax cold. And we see in the society, especially in America, anything goes. So if you're willing to do anything, that means you're willing to manipulate. That really means that you just want what you want. That means that there's selfishness. That means that you're not considerate of anyone else. And that love we once experienced back in the day, the more that we're able to be selfish and have convenience and get that people want that Amazon Prime love. Oh my goodness, look, these bugs getting in. People want that Amazon Prime love. They don't have to work for nothing. They just want to pay for it to be here overnight. Don't want to do no work. And this is what we're experiencing. And people lying and manipulating to say, oh, girl, I love you, but they really don't. And then now that girl's damaged because she can't trust nobody, because when she thought she was falling for love, it all went wrong. You know? I know, no Amazon price. I love Amazon. Please close that door. Are you coming out or you're not? I apologize. Okay? This I apologize. But like for real, people's love is really has gone away because what you have to understand is that when sin is around, it destroys. It's a cancer. It'll make you accuse someone instead of finding grace, mercy, and forgiveness. So what sin does, it produces the works of the flesh. Sorry, I'm hot. Just came from outside. What sin does, it produces the works of the flesh. And with that, you're going to be angry. You're gonna have strife, which we see here. We're gonna have blame, and we're not gonna come to any solution, because if I come to you, however that situation has happened in my life, I'm only going to come, if I'm working from the works of the flesh, I'm only going to see you through the lens of the works of the flesh, which is to blame, which is to throw the whole book at you, which is be legalistic and not show any grace. But God came and he showed us that we have the works of the Spirit, right? So that when we hear a person's story, we can hear and talk to them with compassion. We can have grace. Now we can extend love. I can feel that, okay, maybe I'm forgiven, or the mirror is held up to me, so now I see the wrongdoing, and then I can repent from that. I can change from that. But now I have hope, right? But when we have these conversations driven by our flesh and wanting to be right and having the ego all mixed up in there, we're never going to feel, we're going to put the guards back up. Now we're going to go back into these situations of, you know what? I know I couldn't talk to this thing. I know I couldn't talk to her, or I know I couldn't talk to him. Why am I even here? And so we're going to still be stuck in these situations and in these conversations that go nowhere. You understand? And so if we're not seeing people that are living out, that are having the conversations, that are actually living in a way that inspires people to be better. First, you got to live in a way and talk to people that inspires people to be better. You can't just be like, oh, single mothers this, or women are recreational use, or a dude under 50K, whatever, he don't got no value. You know what I'm saying? You can't talk like that. You understand what I'm saying? You have to look at a person's individual situation and be like, oh, okay, and be objective. Okay, he probably makes $50,000 a year because he just started out, early entry, but yet projecting, if we're so smart, wow, he is set to become something greater in the next couple of years. Oh, he is active in programs across the city. You know what I'm saying? He goes to business conferences. He networks with people that are millionaires. So his network is his net worth. So that's a projection. That's a good man, for potential of a good husband, okay? Because he's doing the work. He's working on his career and has an end goal in mind, right? So, okay, good. I can get behind that instead of me saying, oh man, that 50K, he can't deal with me. Okay, we got to start being have a little bit more wisdom here. Okay? Or, there's different cases of single motherhood. There are cases of the moms that became single mothers, but, the husband passed away, or the relationship didn't work out, but the woman, was a decent woman. But sometimes we put these blanket statements over our whole people that's the only way we look at one another, and the person that really has done the work and is showing up and the children are behaving and has their heart in order to be a wife, they get overlooked because it says, oh, you're dumb if you try to take on another man's family. You know what I'm saying? But everything is aligned in that way. So, I like to listen to people that actually have done it, because there are some success stories. Some things work out, some things don't work out. It's all about building ourselves up to be good for one another. Having that respect, having that honor. We have to bring back respect. We have to bring back reverence, and we have to bring back honor. It's not so much I know my place, know your place. No, 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 no. Know how to honor. Know how to respect. Because I can deal with that. Like, even if sometimes you see a person on the street, some of them, they'll still take their hat off and be respectful. I love that any day. It's not so much as a place. It's like, can we respect one another? I think if we respected and honor one another, and we didn't try to scam one another, defraud one another, I think we would be in a better place. Because as in the word said, it says to love God and love your neighbor as yourself. So if I focus on loving you as myself, I'm not going to try to be right. I'm not going to try to have my ego in the place. You know what I'm saying? If I love myself and I want to see you in a good way, I'm going to be inviting. I'm going to be kind. I'm going to look at you and I'll be like, it says, that sounds crazy, for real, but in all love and all respect, see how you word and say it, that I don't have to make you feel like trash, but we can address the problem. We can talk about the problem. We can talk about the multiple baby daddies without having to say, well, it's your fault, you should have chose better. Well, sis, don't you see that your body is the temple, and that giving yourself up is showing disrespect to yourself? That's committing sin and an offense against you. So sometimes we need to know how to address people and have discernment. Just spewing anything out of your mouth does not mean you're right. That person may not have needed it for you to deliver it to them that day in that way, they probably needed love and compassion, because obviously they're giving up their body thinking that that's love, and it's not. You have to show them another aspect of love, and that first love is showing them self-love and respect, so that they will increase their value of how they perceive themselves, to know that I don't have to lay on my back and open up my legs to receive a person that doesn't love me because of something that happened in the past. So it's just with these conversations that, really disturb me, is that even the conversations are devoid of love, because the love of many has waxed cold. It's more popular to bash, it's more popular to blame, it's more popular to do these things because of you're feeding the algorithm. You know that? You are literally using bashing to teach these machines to keep us there, and you profit off of it. That's bad. It really is, because do you really even care? Do you want to see people get better? Have you tried having a positive conversation? Have you tried uplifting anybody? Have you tried saying, like, I want this to be the single mother's night. Come and air your grievances, or come and talk. Or where's the deadbeat dad? Hey, let's hold them accountable. Why were you there? You know what I'm saying? Like, what can you do better? Can you go back? Hi, Dr. Steele. And can you? You know what I'm saying? Like, can we have single people, or the heavy set people, or like, why do you feel like, or why do you know what I'm saying? It's like the love has waxed cold so bad that I can hardly even be around, because you're bringing my vibe down, and I don't dwell down there. You know what I'm saying? So, but it's my obligation as a person of God to share light and be the salt. But if I'm out here acting crazy, wilding, I'm losing my witness. I'm losing my effectiveness, because I got to stay sharp. Even though, like, somebody may be having a conversation, God is going to tell me that person has the spirit of depression. But you steady over here blaming, oh, this and that. You trying to get to the bag, and you're a gold digger. But no, that woman has depression. That man is suffering from depression, loneliness, abandonment, survival, and thrive. But to say that in a conversation, it has to be with more people of God, because a person that is not of God is not going to understand that. It's really going to go over their heads. That's why we cannot deny the spiritual element of ourselves, which God created, but, and which he died for, but it's up to us if we want to receive that free gift that he's given us, so that we can come out of the traumas, come out of the pain, put down the drugs, put down the scamming, all these things, and exchange it for his perfect work, his will. Because we fight against it. We want to keep our will. We want to do what we want to do. And it was so disheartening, because a person is up here creating content, but he just got rid of his whole marriage behind YouTube. And that was like, wow, the things that we make idols in our lives is destroying everything around us. Chasing the bag, or the side piece, or, these selfish ambitions, or, putting ourselves before our family. It's good, consider yourself, but when you put yourself in a family dynamic, now there's other people we have to be mindful of. You know what I'm saying? And responsible, and stewards. Now we're stewards now. But we're messing up our stewardship. And it just goes to show, it's so funny, because we're not faithful over the few things. We're not. We left our first love. We're not faithful over the few things, so we can't be ruler over many things. That's why we're last. That's why we're last as a people. And we should know better because we grew up going to church. We grew up learning about God, but so many, like, I don't need God. I'm straight. I got this. I got my mentorship, this and that. I got Kevin Samuels. I'm like, listen, these people are nice, but don't nobody replace God. Don't nobody replace his word and his commandments, because he said the soul that sinneth is going to die. And we're not even stewarding. We're not teaching people how to steward the little that we have. Even if the man makes 50K, steward what you have and I will make you ruler over many. This is what we need to be teaching our women. That man, is he faithful over the few that he has? And both of you guys are coming into the union of God and under the authority of God and under his provision. Man, woman, child, you will prosper. He will give you the wisdom and the knowledge and the understanding to be better, to build. Don't just try to be a Proverbs 31 woman and then put all these stipulations out here. Don't be this fake proclamation. Don't stop making these fake proclamations because it covers you. And you just a brokey too? What are you doing? Why should God give you one of his sons when you acting up? Why? Why should you be seen? Why should you be given a Boaz when you're not even faithful to God? When you're not submitted unto him? When you're still going out here on the streets and clubbing and all this stuff and OnlyFans and all this stuff? It don't work like that. You have to be honorable too. Whether you believe it or not, God is watching everything you do and everything he said. He writing it all down. I may not be able to see you. You may be lying to me, but you can't lie to God. All right? So you're gonna get what you deserve. If I am praying and seeking God, but his will is for me not to be married, okay, that's fine. I accept his will. But if it is his will for me to get married and he's watching and observing me and I'm begging and doing this, but yet I'm not showing the attributes of a wife before him, he's not going to give me nothing. Why would he do that? So I can destroy somebody else's life. And then when he says no, you still go ahead of him and do what you want to do and then still mess up stuff. Just like the other woman in the Bible. You still go ahead. You still mess up things. So you need to sit down too. Starting with me. Because I don't say I'm better than anybody. So I got to keep myself in check as well. I'm not better than anybody. I'm still doing the will of God and listening to him every day. Going where he needs me, staying away from the places where he don't want me to go. But tightening up on the message and coming back with what is honorable. We need to be more honorable as women, more honorable as men. And let's honor one another and be kind and gentle. We've had so many harsh conversations. Yes, okay, I think we've had enough that's all we're comfortable with. We're comfortable with the mediocre titles and things that vidIQ feeds us, Tube Buddy feeds us, the algorithm. Oh, this was popular. This particular video was popping. So you keep making the same trash or things that don't help anybody but hurts people feeling, we're so good at that. Can we do something else, people? Where's the honor? When are we going to do the hard work? It's harder to love. It's hard. It's hard to forgive. But y'all don't want to do that. Right? It's easier to just brush it off and blame one another, and we'll still be having the same conversation in 2026. But my scripture says that the love of many because iniquity will abound. So it's people love darkness. They love having these dark conversations. But I mean, look what's happening. We're falling apart, like little by little. And we have to recognize that we have to go back to our Bible and we have to read. We have to. It says, it's in Matthew 10, 24:10, and then many shall be offended and shall betray one another and shall hate one another. That's what we see. We see it. We see it happen. We see it happen so many nights. We have these long panels of being offended, hating one another. You may not want to hate anybody. Hi, darling. But that's what's happening, whether you want to believe it or not. And the fact that you're facilitating this, God is going to hold you accountable. Trust and believe me. You may be getting the money and the checks now, but it ain't going to do you no good when you have to stand before him and say, hey, why were you know my words, so why were you holding these conversations? Well, God, I was just trying to get to my bag on you. No, he's going to be like, no, I don't want to hear it. So sometimes we don't really think about the ramifications of what we put out in this digital marketplace. We don't really know the damage that we're doing in people, because as we learned from the pandemic, a lot of people have mental illness and loneliness and things like that, and isolation. So the fact that people are still lonely and isolated, you really need to be careful about what you're putting out here. I will say that again, and I will say that again. People, watch what you're consuming, because it is engineered to draw you in, make you offended, and start hating. Stop being bitter. You gotta get yourself out of that. I'm just saying, be more discerning. Be more discerning. And I had to do that for myself too. I would show up on some things and it'll disrupt my spirit, man, so bad. And I'm like, man, why'd I come here? So I'm just sitting there like, oof, being convicted by God, like, you're gonna have to step away. You can't come back. So that has happened. And it's just sad, but the love of many will wax cold. So we have to guard our hearts. The word said, guard our hearts. We have to guard what we see, our ear gates, what we're listening to, and our heart, because that'll all affect how we think, how we move, how we love, and our intentions for one another. We have to guard that stuff. Even when you're married, you can't you can't be out here and be like, oh my goodness, look at Henry Cavill, Superman. He looking hot. You gotta, people are handsome and attractive, but you can't be looking at them and say, well, if I had one night with him. No, that's lust. And that's committing adultery in your heart. You can't. The men, well, I can have my side piece and things like that, but God says adulterers will be judged. I hear people say, let men cheat in peace. Well, you may want to cheat in peace, but look what happened to David. He cheated. He thought he was having peace with it, but then he got the woman pregnant, killed a man. It's like, this is too much. It's too much. So have you not learned from the previous examples? It's like all there. This is what I'm saying. A lot of the stuff is here. It's in our word for our example. But yet we get out here and say recreational use. I'm like, it's okay to have your side piece. And I'm like, don't y'all read? Like, people have already gotten in trouble for this. And if you commit adultery and fornication, like every sex has its place in its context. And when it does, it's successful. We have to admit that when we were in love with somebody and we wanted to be with them, and we were married and we were doing things in the right way, it felt right. When we didn't do it, we felt dirty. We felt used. We felt played. Can we just be honest with that? You know? So, I just hope, because the new year is going to come around very soon, and there's just lots of things happening in the world, like people losing their jobs, the rise of AI, even the word talking about the knowledge shall increase in the last days, and just the things that are just happening, and just drawing closer to him and to one another, because a lot of people are in their, adulthood, are experiencing loneliness, like the division and not trusting one another. We have to build that back up. It's hard, but you have to, and just for the sake of respect, if you're a child of God, just to respect and love one another as yourself, or to be available to pray with somebody. Some people are really hurting out here. I don't want to be in a position where I'm not strong enough to pray for you because I need you to pray for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, when are we going to grow up? When are we going to grow up as men and women of God, or proclaim to be? We like to throw a lot of scripture around. Oh, she should be a proper woman. Oh, she should submit. But what are you doing as a man of God? I don't hear I don't hear them talk about, man, I'm on my knees every day. I'm in my prayer room. I never hear none of the content creators say that. Ever. Oh, I just believe in God and, think I follow God. Okay. Are you in your prayer room? How much time have you spent time in the word today? I don't see your submission to God. I don't see it. So we have to be mindful. Even myself, we have to be mindful of the things that we're saying, but are we living it as well? Not just to use it to have leverage in the conversation. It'll be powerful, to seem like authority. No, like, we have to be submitted to God as well in our own personal lives, not to use it to bash, use the scripture against women. Well, you should be Proverbs 31. You should submit to the man and give your body up. Yes, those are that. But what have you submitted as a man of God in your leadership? Because even Christ, he had to submit to the cross. Don't nobody want to get on the cross and die now. Okay? Don't nobody want to do that. Like, I know I don't. And I especially don't want to do it for millions of people. I don't know you. But his love to say, not my will, your will, that takes true submission. Because I know that's why they call them snitches. Because they're like, well, I ain't going down for you, bro. That's why they call them snitches for a reason. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, when the test is there, even when the test was there, he was big and bad, cutting people's ears off. But when it came time to say, hey, are you affiliated with Jesus? I seen you with him. He was like, I don't know him. So are we going to get you in a I don't know him moment, or do you know him? Because sometimes I have to have these private conversations, and when I do, the person really don't know him. It's good. You can sit up here and be like, yeah, but when we get to real meat and bones, we get to the backstage, when the show's over, I want to ask you a question. Oh, such and such. Well, I don't really believe that. And I'm like, okay. So now I know who you truly are. Well, at least I know what God was telling me. But, and then you got to hold them accountable. If they receive it or not, that's on them. So that's cool with me. But at least I did what I was supposed to do, as a servant of God. And we're all children of God. We have to love one another, hold each other accountable, and love, not to bash. I'm not here to bash, things like that, because God died for everyone. That was his sacrifice, not my sacrifice to control and leverage. No, that's his. We have to invite people into a relationship with him, not our thoughts and our ego. We gotta get rid of all that, and and move by the Spirit of God, and just start having better conversations, surrounded about love. I wonder how that would be. I wonder how that would look like. It's called a revival for a reason. It's that people are sick and tired, and they're searching for a revival. How can we have a revival in the Black family? How can we have a revival of Black love? How can we have a revival of the dignity that we once had for ourselves? That needs to be revived. And you can't revive it When you're blaming and pointing fingers, you can't revive it. You have to, it has to be inspired. People are going to want to like give up with by what they see. They're like, wow, what I'm doing isn't it, and they toss what they're doing to the side, and they join in. How do you, that's the bigger thing. How do you inspire something on that magnitude? Hi, complex. you know it's, we got to move differently in these coming years, because there's going to be lots of deception. I mean, we already see AI portraying black woman as ignorant, like like, really. you're like, it's crazy. And like, and the advent of AI is going to make us even more lazier. You got to be careful. I love technology. I love things that it does, but you have to be aware of if it's impeding your own authenticity, your own. I'm blessed to be 48. Hey! Happy birthday! I don't have no soundboard, so I'm sorry. Happy birthday to you. I hope you have a beautiful day. I hope you get everything your heart desires and more in another year. Everything. Who? Oh, you asking for whose email? Mine? Are you on IG? I don't even know if I can even write on this. I'm on my mobile phone, and I don't even know. I ain't gonna touch it. I might end up my phone overheated like 6,000 times, so I have to start this live over and over again. But I just want to see the inspiration of the black people. We are so powerful in our unity, not uniting over violence and marching in the street, but like our dignity, who we are, and just like looking at one another. Like, can we have that fervor, that zeal that we did back in the day? The people back in the day, that they were willing to march and walk to work instead of supporting a system that was against them. You know what I'm saying? So we already have these systems against us. The Willie Lynch letter, which was one of the, which I consider an algorithm myself, because it was intentionally engineered to separate and then change mindsets of the male and the female and of the children of black people. So I consider that an algorithm, right? Because he observed and watched how it would benefit them, right? So I'm like, wow, that's crazy. So how can we come together to get past these conversations? Back in the day, people had purpose. What is it that black folks today, what is that for black folks today? I don't know. It's, we have new technologies, so new conveniences. We don't have to like go hard and work. Like, we don't have to go to a library to go find knowledge. We don't have to use one another, leverage one another for community anymore. We're kind of isolated. We're remote. We just log on a phone, which we're doing now. We don't have to be a community anymore. And I don't know. It's like, I don't know. I mean, do we grasp onto these conveniences and technologies and consume them in a way that is to our detriment? In other communities, how do they still remain prideful? Not pride, but show up in their community as, well, I'm Romanian and this is Romanian Day. You know what I'm saying? And they go each other. They still make churn butter with their grandma. You know what I'm saying? Like, why do we let our situations fall apart? Like, are we not kind and loving to one another? Like, um, I don't know. I, I'm, I don't know. I don't, I don't know. Maybe, I mean, what I've seen is that I think if we benefited off of the technology, we probably would see more of ourselves there. And if we have more control of it and we didn't sell it out, or every time we came up with something that benefited society, we weren't deleted or and then brought into I mean, the bad side of capitalism, I think it would be better, because I don't know. I don't know. It's like that we have so much. We are so advanced. We have so much to offer as people, but we've licensed out our greatness, but it has been to our detriment every single time. Every single time. Like, why did the visions of Wakanda hit Sahara black people? I don't know. Because it was just, it was so powerful. I mean, I don't know. It was so powerful because, like you said, the relation, like, wow, that looks like me. Well, I do feel smart. I do like science. You're like, yeah, like you know we're special. And I think just to be able to see it in that way where we're all the main character, where we're all the hero, and in our own ecosystem, how power looks like, even though it's still there is struggle, but there's honor and still like I don't know. It was a good that was a good um movie. I'm telling you, I did feel so good after I seen it. And but as black people, we still were in power, but we still helped out other people, other ethnicities. So we weren't just selfish with it, but we did allow, to help other people, which is, I think black people, we would, like to help people out, but it's just when money and things come in and jealousy and covetous, it just ruins everything instead of like admiring who black people are as a people. They view it as a threat, which is not how it's supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? License out. That's what we do. We do it all the time. Our basketball players, musicians, and then they get the bad end of the stick, But are we hip to these terminologies? No. We only know things hindsight, and that's bad. We always know everything hindsight, and that's bad. And sometimes I just think if we did have more of a stronger family structure and we taught our own, you know, we can push our children much further, way further. My children, they knew how to read more than all the other kids when they went to Head Start. And they was like, "What did y'all do?" I said, "I don't know." Well, they kind of taught themselves because they were smart, but I just let them see words, shapes, and things like that. Exposure. We need more exposure to the things of our greatness, not the low vibrational things, and that's where they keep us, or trying to keep us in that way. And sometimes these panels and conversations keep us in that low end of our greatness. Like, yeah, we're not good all the time. We have some things we need to work on, but can we like push the spectrum this way a little bit more? You know what I'm saying? I don't think it's bad for a woman to, be accomplished and then the man feel intimidated. He shouldn't feel intimidated. I don't think men are intimidated by it, but some women may think, oh, he's intimidated. Like, you need to stop saying that. Like, actually, men love that. They'll champion it, but you're saying, like, you're trying to make him feel low or whatever. Like, that's not cool, you know? Like, just some things we have to start unlearning, you know, and then just appreciate one another. You know, because I mean, I'm like, you're 48, you know what I'm saying? I'm 42. When we close our eyes and blink, look up, we're going to be in the fives, okay? The 50s. Time is going to go by so fast. And what does it profit to have these conversations that are going nowhere? We're just wasting so much time. Failure as a standard of success. Yeah, yeah, and that's another algorithm that's been pumped into us too. The struggle and okay, fine, you know. But the thing is, we have to. This is what I'm saying. We have to start having better conversations, and you know, people like us that will be willing to bridge between the people that have the lower misunderstandings and have been in rooms five five more years and we're 50. Woo! 50 club. Oh my goodness, I can't even think about it. Help me, Jesus. Let me get on my vitamins. And sorry. This is the hood, okay? The hood. We have to have more bridges. I don't think we have enough information bridges that will make it layman term for the people that may not understand and bring them up to date on being better in their character and having better expectations for themselves and things like that. And you know, there's so many people that are forgotten. You know, I used to do prison ministry with one of the evangelists at my church, and but we were there talking to the young boys, 12 years old and such, and they committed murder. Okay, all right. So while you're on the panels talking about, oh, the boys, I'm over here speaking really to the boys. You know what I'm saying? Can you get off your seat and go talk to them? Can you? Because once they get back on the street, they're still going to have that same mentality. They may not have been rehabbed. You got to talk to them while they're there. You got to talk to them before they get there. And the people that are there, you got to talk to them while they're there so that when they get out, they have a different mindset. So that's a different level of submission and sacrifice and servantship that people don't really have. Because it's not glamorous. I don't get paid for it. I'm not monetized. But that's, you're needed over here too, you know, okay? It's nice to have people there when you're doing good, but who's going to be there for me when I'm at my lowest? We don't have a lot of people that really want to be servants because it's not glamorous and, you know, things like that. So that's where I fall at in that category, servant category. And I really have to combat, like, you know, when you're pouring out your heart, filling it up again. I can't fill it up with these conversations. I can't. I really do have to pray, and I have to have other content creators that help me dig deeper when there's nothing there, and they also inspire me that they help refill me. I have to do a lot of reading that regenerates me so that I can bring back the love and the information and the servant and the compassion and the solution. But of course, those channels won't get a lot of play, but that's okay. I'd rather be effective for people than just being loud and I'm no use to nobody. No, I don't want to be like that. Never, ever wanted to be like that. And I always hung around people that really were in the field, in the trenches, and that's where I got my experience. So I'm not afraid to walk up and talk to people on the street, go to the prisons where you probably would be scared to go to. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just a feminine soldier out here trying to get other women to be feminine soldiers and call them out and inspire them, because listening to other people, it can make you lose hope sometimes, or like, well, I'm not good enough, or I'm a single mom, or like, you can't listen to that stuff. You can't listen to it, because everybody is valuable. Everybody has worth. And if you don't, you can build it. You're worth something to somebody. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know, guys. I'm going to have to get filled up again after, having this conversation with you guys. And I don't know. What was it? That's it. Thank you. You got it. I know. I know he did not just say that last night, but really, just not forgetting the side that really matters is our soul, the things that drives us to make decisions, our intentions, our motive is our soul. Okay, and it's between a battle of good and evil. Okay, and the evil side seems like it's winning a little bit, and we got to fight. We got to fight harder. We got to fight harder for people. And even when they don't even know that they're in a fight, even if they don't understand that side of themselves, we have to educate them of that. Because once I know to do better, once I know in my mind and my heart, then I'll start to change. I'll make the 180, not the 360. I don't want to go back around and start to I want to do it 180 and move on towards success. But it's always a war against those type of people. What the blue I don't know. It's another algorithm that was given to us. And I learned about psyops and I'm like, what's that? So like, the more that we read, the more that we are able to educate ourselves of what's really happening in society, and is the more that we'll be able to strengthen our discernment, because a lot of our discernment is really off. We say we got into it, and just sit down, be quiet. You know what I'm saying? So just people, I think they need like a social media detox, and and reboot, things like that, and start absorbing things that will enlighten our spirit, man, because that part is malnourished for a lot of us. And we don't even know what they look like. We don't know what they feel like. They told us like, oh, don't go there, but we like, oh, brush it off. But it's okay. We deny that part because it's not fun. And I think we need to just get back to that and just have more conversations surrounded about positivity, who you are, your identity, the value that you bring when you screw up that value, what it looks like, that it's not profitable for you. We want to be successful, just focusing and recalibrating the conversation. My son wants to be a mechanic. You know what I'm saying? We got to recalibrate. We got to realign. So many things we got to repent. So many things we got to do. Not recycle. We don't want to recycle conversation. We got to get rid of those. Okay. And I think we'll be in a better position. I know 2026, there's still going to be those same conversations, but like we said, the revival of the Black community, of our excellence, and just that discernment, that keenness, that sharpness as a people, I hope to see that elevate even more, and that we will come together and see each other's value, or at least if we have better conversations about one another. You know what I'm saying? Respecting and honoring. I honor you. Like, we may not agree, okay, but I still don't have to disrespect you because we disagree. You know what I'm saying? So I'm hoping to see more of that, more hugs, embraces, and kind words to each other and honoring one another. That's my hope. That's my hopes and dreams. And that's about it. And if you want my email, it's thewifeschoolpodcast@gmail.com. It's not nothing spectacular. And I'm really hot. I'm sweating here. I'm baking. But I'm just glad to just get on because I just want people to be aware of that our love as humanity is under attack. Okay, and it's not going to be solved on panels. This is something that you have to bring before God and pray over and fight for. You have to fight. This is a war. The other team know it's a war and they have an advantage over you right now, but you have an advantage as well that's greater than him. But do you know that? I hope you do, because you do. You got to pick it up. You got to fight. Can't be a casualty. Don't be a casualty of war. Fight, 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 fight. Okay? So I hope you guys have a beautiful weekend. I'm going to go wipe my face because I'm so hot. And happy birthday to Mr. Complex and Mr. Von Zoomer, Mr. We Unlock, everyone that showed up today that was in and out. Sorry that my phone got overheated. I was outside trying to enjoy the weather, but the phone got hot, so I apologize for that. But thank you for spending that time with me, and hopefully I come back again and be more consistent and have more deeper conversations because I love you guys and I love deep things and learning. So I love you guys. Be safe. I'll stay here all night, but I love you guys. Be safe. I love you, love you, love you.